Today I'm going to be showing you what's on my phone as somebody who really cares about productivity and using these incredible devices to the best of their abilities, but also about having a healthy relationship with technology and setting in place some healthy boundaries. I want to begin with the biggest digital minimalism hack in terms of how effective it is, and that is to use a dumb phone. You know, those phones from back in the day with the buttons and not so many applications. That works great because essentially you cannot distract yourself with these. It's also almost impossible to write a message, and while that works, it's not very convenient. So I have a solution: 2 phones. The 2 phones may look like it's a bit too much, but it is actually a brilliant way to separate fun and work. This is my productivity phone, my high-end phone from 3 years ago that I use for work and daily stuff, and this is a 6-year-old iPhone 6 that is incredibly well built, that I rescued from a landfill essentially, or getting recycled. These things should be very cheap and they can do you a lot of good. So I want to show you what's on this phone first. Beginning with the home screen, you can see that I don't have too many widgets. That's because they have moved over to my watch, where they are just one bit less distracting. But I do have 4 apps that I try to use as frequently as I can. Beginning with Zero, my fasting app. This is an amazing app for fasting, but I sometimes forget to track. As you can see, I have forgotten today. That's why it's there. Then I have the Daily Dozen app, which is a scientific app that just has a guideline for what kind of foods you should be eating every day. And that's just based on a book I've read. It's amazingly useful for just planning your meal. And it has some tips for facilitating weight loss as well. The next app that I have on here is called Habits or Loop, and I use it to track my 5 habits this year. I can track them on my watch. I'm going to tell you how in a bit, but this is where I tick them off, and here I can just watch the statistics. And the final app on my home screen is called LifeSum. I actually use this for food tracking. I like the interface on here, so I'm giving LifeSum a chance. Really, the biggest reason is the watch interface for this. I can track meals on here, but it's very rough because it just asks you, was it a big or small meal, and not what it was. So that's what I have on my home screen. On the side, this is something that I have used since I had an Edge phone with like these Edge displays. I have a Edge screen with some shortcuts. I have some work shortcuts, live shortcuts, social and tools, and Google. I have Chrome deactivated because it's a place where you can also browse, and you can really easily activate it in the settings. So if it's a dire situation, I can reactivate it. Otherwise, for just asking questions, I have the Google app. So that's what I have on the sidebar, and the app that actually does that is called Edge Action. Now, looking at my app screen, I have Zero, Habits, and LifeSum that I showed you. I have Spotify for music, everybody knows that. And I have an app called Endil, and I want to show you this. It's a paid app, but it's still really, really amazing. It is an app that generates beats that stimulate your brain, and they are generated based on the time of the day, the weather, and it has a watch app, so it also checks your heart rate. So it has a relaxing mode, focus mode, on the go, and a sleep mode, and it even has a collaboration with Grimes. So if you're a Grimes fan, that's really cool, and you can set timers on here. I think this app is absolutely amazing, and it actually does what you want it to do. And then we have 3 folders: a work folder in which you see a huge red flag, which is Instagram. And there's just nothing I can do because I want to see the stories that I'm posting in the proper resolution, and on here it just makes very small stories for everyone. So I have to post the stories from here, but I try not to use it for anything else. I have a timer. Then I have my camera, my gallery app, voice recorder, what I would be using normally for videos. Imaging Edge Mobile is just for my camera. InShot is what I edit Instagram and other small videos for on my phone. It's really good for editing videos. It does have a watermark, but you could zoom it away in a story, for example. I have YouTube Studio, it's just for work. Keep Notes, amazing because you can use it with your watch, so you can have a note while you're walking and then view it on your phone, on your computer. I love it. Then the calendar, I use Google Calendar to organize myself, and Google Drive, which is what I use to communicate between these 2 guys the most, and I use it on my laptop as well, so love Google Drive. The next folder here is Rare Use, and this not that rare, but I don't want to have these apps lying around somewhere, and I couldn't find the right categories to put them in. So I have some banking apps, Last.fm. This is something like Goodreads, but for music. So it tracks the music that you've listened to. I've been using this since 2008. It has 100,000 songs or more that I have listened to on there, and it's like a little museum of my taste. Then I have LastPass, a vault for passwords, incredibly good interface. You can use it on your phone or your computer. It's going to be paid from now on for more than one device, but for one device, you can use it for free. Then I have Kloop, which is a period tracker for girls. I've been using it since 2017, and without too much detail, it is really accurate, especially if you put a lot of data in, it will guess quite good. Then I have DB Navigator. This is just for the German railways and bus. If you are in Germany ever, I highly recommend. Then I have Edge Action. I have to show you, this is the app that does this thing that you can open the Edge screen, and it has so many other modes. Some are paid, some are not. Like it has a world clock, it has some quick tools. These are free, so I highly recommend the Edge screen if you want to try that out. Then I have my contacts, files, Audible, my favorite application for audiobooks, and I try to, my hack is that I try to get as long a book as I can. For example, this book, How Not to Diet, it's 19 hours. I have more books on another account, but I try to take the longest book possible so I can listen over a long period of time and I don't have to pay for a second book in a month. One is enough. Letterbox. It's really cool because this is a applications where you can have movie reviews. You can save what movies you've seen, what you want to see, read what other people have to think. It's kind of like Last.fm, but for movies. Wearable widgets. I thought I will say how I use the widgets on my watch, and it is with this app, which is paid €5, but it's worth everything because the Wear OS watches are not like the Apple Watches that they have so many widgets. They don't. So if you want to have a widget from your phone go on your watch, like these check marks that I have here, you will need this app. I swear it is worth it. I think you can have one for free. MyFitnessPal is incredibly useful. I told you this is the app that is like Lifesum, but it just has a bit more complicated user interface. Other than that, it can really do everything in terms of food tracking. And I have my messages, my insurance, Govee Home. These are my light bulbs, and they are smart bulbs. They can change with the music, they can change the colors. I really like that. So they're not the best, but on the low end, they are very good. The next app that I want to show you is called Musician, and this is what I learned to play music with. I play the guitar, and this app essentially shows you the notes that you should be playing, and you have to do them right or you have to do them wrong, and based on that you have certain scores and stars and things like that. I think that is amazing if you can afford a teacher, and now in COVID there might not be as many teacher offerings, but there is that. There's actually famous songs on here that you can learn to play. There's Billie Eilish, there is Roxette, apparently, things like that, and you can learn different things. So if you're learning guitar, it will have a rhythm guitar path, a lead guitar path, and a knowledge path. If you're learning singing, it might be different things. And the final thing is Water Time. This is the app that I track my water consumption with. I use it from my watch, but I can then see the statistics on my phone. Water Time is great. Now we are at the screen of my fun phone, the iPhone 6. These are all of the apps I have. I know it doesn't look like I have a lot of fun, but I just stopped using a lot of the other distracting apps. I'm not on Facebook for 3 years. I don't have 9gag or things like that. I don't even know what else could be. TikTok. I'm not on TikTok because I'm scared to even start with that. So Pixlr is for editing photos, amazing. I use their software for your computer, really good. Preview is just to see what you're going to post. InShot, again, is for editing the videos, and Camera and Instagram is Clear. Then I have YouTube. I love YouTube. So I have this here to put some brakes on my wheels, because if I had it on my other phone, I'd be watching all the time when I'm brushing my teeth, when I'm drinking my coffee. I have some apps that I couldn't remove that I don't think are useful. I have Reddit. I love Reddit as pretty much the only, really, depending on what you are interested in, so productivity or minimalism, you could go on Reddit and really just read about that. So it's not a social media that really sucks me personally in. I don't browse the hot on Reddit. I have my interests on there and that's all I do. I have Google to Google things. Wayfair and Amazon are just apps. If somebody is asking me about interior design or I just need to look up a price quickly, I will go on there. Wayfair has really nice furniture that I've also ordered from. So it doesn't look like a lot, but I could add more. If I used to have some Elevate, Brain Games, things like that I'm trying out, but I remove them if I don't use them. So anything that comes up here that is going to be distracting and fun, it will be here. And the best thing about this is that it only has Wi-Fi, so it can only be used at home or in a hotel or in an Airbnb or something like that. So there is no danger in getting lost scrolling. And that is what I have on my phones and watch. If you want to see what's on my watch, there is another video about that somewhere. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time.